Let us see what are the optimization goals in Cadence Genus. Let us see what are optimization goals. In the default settings, Genus will produce the smallest design that satisfies the timing constraints. So it will focus mainly on timing by using HDC constraints. The power constraints need to be set by the user. Genus does not automatically optimize for power during synthesis. There is no one-size-fits-all recipe for optimization. The recommended flow is to run the design through the baseline flow once with the following commands. So these are the three commands which we use. So sync generic, sync map, and sync optimization. So this will do generic synthesis, and this will do mapping with respect to the .lib, and sync opt will do optimization. So remember, Cadence Genus will focus mainly on timing by using the constraints. So once after running these three commands, we need to analyze the results and then fine tune the flow if needed. So depending upon our requirements, we need to adjust the flow. Now let us see what is meant by timing. So coming to timing, timing is the number one priority in Genus during optimization. As I told you already, Cadence will focus mainly on timing. Cadence Genus will focus mainly on timing for optimization. Genus will optimize the design to satisfy timing constraints first and then consider area, power, and DRC later in this process. So here I have included the hierarchy. First it will focus on timing, after that area, power, next coming to DRC and DRB. The following are some of the ideas to fine tune optimization for timing improvement. So these are the following techniques that are used for the sake of optimization. Now let us see each and everything in detail. So first one is ungrouping, next is retiming, third one is boundary optimization, fourth one is data path optimization, next is path grouping. TNS stands for total negative slack optimization. Next is path adjust and cell biasing. Let us see what is meant by ungrouping. Generally, Genus structures and optimizes logic better when there is no module hierarchy. No module hierarchy means, suppose if you take an example of 4-bit triple carry adder, it contains 4 full adders. So this is called as module hierarchy. But Cadence Genus, it structures and optimizes well when it is flat design, means there is no hierarchical design. Like simply if you take an example of one half adder, as you know that one half adder will have one XOR gate and one AND gate. So such kind of designs are called as no module hierarchy. So during that stage, it structures and optimizes logic better. Next, for example, data path components across module hierarchies cannot be merged. Suppose if you go for a module based hierarchy, like 4-bit triple carry adder contains 4 full adders. So here each and every full adder is instantiated once. To get 4-bit triple carry adder, we need to instantiate full adder 4 times. So during the time, if there is any module hierarchy, from stage to stage, like merging cannot be performed. So that's what here I'm telling. For example, data path components across module hierarchies cannot be merged if you are going for module based hierarchies. However, it is not recommended to flatten the design into a single module either. The same 4-bit triple carry adder codes, you can flatten the design, means you can get the code within a single module and end module. That is called as an flattening the design. But because of this, we will face some issues while performing debugging after LEC. After logical equivalence check, we will be facing issues. The synthesized netlist will be difficult for verification and debugging. When we will face this difficulty, once if we flatten the design. Genus will automatically ungroup user hierarchies if they contain only muxes or data path components. This feature is enabled by default. The user can turn off this auto ungrouping with the following global attribute. So this is a command that you need to use: set db auto ungroup none, or else alternatively the user can turn this off selectively on an instances or an sub design level. So instance, I told you, it is nothing but the name given to one of the sub module. So set db HINST stands for hierarchical instance, or else you can use it for module, and it is dot ungroup underscore OK is false. So you can turn it off by using this particular command. So next technique is retiming. Coming to retiming, retiming is an advanced optimization technique where registers are repositioned. Means within a complete design, the registers are nothing but flops. They are repositioned to reduce cycle time or area without changing the input-output latency of the design. This technique is best fitted for a design that can be pipelined. The drawback of this technique is possible problems in formal verification. Retiming can be enabled at the top level or selective modules using retime as the attribute. So retime, and you can set it for design or module dot retime true. So this is about retiming. Next technique is boundary optimization. Genus automatically performs boundary optimization for all modules in the design. So generally you can take the example of 4-bit triple carry adder which contains 4 full adders. So if data is going from one full adder to another full adder, during that stage some kind of an optimization will be performed. So that is boundary from one module to another module. During this optimization, it does constant propagation, removal of logic connected to undriven inputs or unloaded outputs. Means if any input is floating or else if an output has no load. Next, collapsing equal or opposite hierarchical pins, hierarchical pin inversion or rewiring of equivalent signals. The boundary optimization should not be disabled unless it is needed to resolve formal verification issues. So remember this point. By default, this will be enabled. If you check any run.tcl files while performing synthesis by using Cadence Genus, this will be enabled by default. If needed, this can be disabled selectively at module level or at pin level with the following attribute. setDB module dot boundary underscore opto. So it can given three parameters, that is true or false or else strictly no. At least one you have to use. Next is setDB, and here you can give either module name or else hierarchical pin, and the same you have to give dot boundary optimize constant hierarchical pins. So it can be given either inherited true or false. Next setDB, again you can give modular hierarchical name, and it is boundary optimize equal opposite hierarchical pins, and you can give this three switches. Next again setDB, either you can give modular hierarchical name, boundary optimize feed through hierarchical pins, followed by these three. And the last one is boundary optimize inverted hierarchical pins, and you can give the following three switches. So in this manner, you can either enable or disable boundary optimization selectively, but make sure by default it should not be disabled. Next technique is data path optimization. So data path optimization is enabled by default and is done more aggressively in high effort generic synthesis. So generally, while performing synthesis, we will be using three commands called as sync generic, sync map, and sync op. So you can set an efficiency level, or else you can call it as an effort level, like low, medium, high, and ultra. Suppose if you are going for high effort, then data path optimization will be performed with high effort. This is where the architecture of data path components is selected to best satisfy the timing constraints. So these three things will get performed during data path optimization. So that is operator merging and CSA transformation, that is carry save adder transformation and resource sharing are happening at this optimization stage. So remember this one. Here, depending upon the effort level, data path optimization will be performed. Next, to see what data path architectures are selected by genus, use this particular command report underscore DP. This is report data path command after generic synthesis and mapping stages. So once after generic synthesis and mapping stage, type this particular command and see the report. Genus should select the very fast architecture. Why it is coming very fast means here we are setting effort to high if the data path component is in a critical path. If it is not the case, the user can manually select the architecture by setting the following switches. So this is a command which you can use setDB module name dot user speed grade. So these are the speed grades which you can give very slow, slow, medium, fast, very fast, and time driven. So in this manner, you can choose the data path architecture by setting the effort level, and you can check it by using report underscore data path. Remember these three things. These three things will get performed during data path optimization, that is operator merging, carry save addition, transformation, and resource sharing. Next, fifth technique is path grouping. So generally path groups are nothing but we know that there will be four timing paths, that is input to register, register to register, register to output, and input to output. Now let us see how we are grouping them. During optimization, Genus works on one cost group at a time until there is no improvement on the critical path of the cost group. So critical path is a path which is having max delay. Now let us understand what is this one cost group. For every clock defined with the create clock. So I've explained this constraint already, create underscore clock. Please check my videos. Then you will understand what is meant by this create clock. For every clock defined with create clock constraint, a cost group is created. Like how many clocks that you are defining by using this particular command, that many cost groups will get created for all endpoints related to that clock waveform. If a design has a single clock, all parts in the design will be in a same cost group. So within your particular design, if you are using only one clock, then all parts will be under that particular clock. So that is called as one cost group. So simply, if you are using one create underscore clock command in your SDC, you will have one cost group. If you are using two create underscore clock groups, I mean, if you are defining two clocks, then you will have two different cost groups. So remember this point. Suppose a critical path is on IO path. So here IO paths are nothing but input to register and register to output. But for this input to register and register to output, so generally we will define set input delay and set output delay by using virtual clock. If Genus can improve timing, it will give up without optimizing the register to register paths in the same cost group. It is good practice to separate the IO parts from register to register parts in different cost groups so that Genus can still optimize for critical parts in each cost group. An example of cost group settings is given below. So these are the commands that you have to use for performing grouping, that is path grouping. So group underscore path, you have to give some name by using this particular switch. So input to register path group. This is input to register, this is register to register, register to output, and input to output. And from where to where you have to give, from and two switches you have to use. So input to register means from input to register. So from input, input means all underscore input, to registers means all DES sequential. This is the thing which you have to use. Next, register to register means simply all DES sequential to all DES sequential. If it is from register to output, simply use all DES sequential to all outputs. If it is input to output, it will be from all inputs to all outputs. So simply group path, alpha name, the name you have to give, followed by from and to. And here you have to give from input to register, register to register, register to output, and input to output. So this is about path grouping. Now let us see what is TNS optimization. Here TNS stands for total negative slack. There will be two parameters. One is total negative slack, next one is worst negative slack. All these worst negative slacks are summed up to get total negative slack. As mentioned previously, Genus works on the critical path worst negative slack of each cost group until there is no more improvements. So as I told you, critical path is a path which is having max delay, and cost group is something, it depends upon create clock commands that you are using. The non-critical parts can be downsized for area saving. So you have to understand the concept called as upsizing and downsizing. So generally upsizing means we will increase the drive strength of a cell. So because of which width will increase, and because of that area will also increase. But here advantage that we get is reduced amount of delay. Whereas in case of downsized, delay will be more, but the advantage is area will be less. Why? Because downsizing will reduce the width. So obviously transistor size will be small. So it leads to area saving. In the TNS optimization mode, all endpoints of the cost group are optimized. Optimizing for TNS reduces the number of violating parts and might reduce worst negative slack in some cases. As I told you, total negative slack is something which is summation of individual worst negative slack. However, there is a drawback on runtime and possible area increases. To enable TNS optimization, you have to use this particular command setDB TNS underscore auto true. Next, the attribute TNS critical range controls the range which Genus considers a critical path. So critical path is something which is having maximum amount of delay when set to a positive value. Means when this TNS critical range is set to some positive value, logic structuring will treat parts with a slack within the specified range from the worst negative slack as critical path to help optimizing the total negative slack. So this is how you need to set db TNS critical range to some positive value. Next, coming to path adjust. This is also one of the optimization technique under timing. So path adjusting, tightening the constraints on a selective path will make the path become more critical and force Genus to work harder. So specifically, we can force Genus to work on one particular path. So here the paths can be inputs to registers, register to register, register to output, or else from input to output. This trick can help close timing for a small number of violations. So here we will be focusing on one particular path, and the following constraint needs to be set before mapping. So there will be stages like sync generic, sync map, and sync opt. So this path adjustment should be done before mapping. Why? Because during mapping stage, the Cadence Genus tool, it will read the .lib and it will map according to the RTL. Suppose if there is any and some name followed by port list in our RTL code, during mapping stage, that particular and will be replaced with and cell from the .lib. So that's why you have to set it before mapping. And this is the command path adjust hyphen delay from start point to the end point. So you have to mention from which point to which point you want to do path adjustment. Use a negative delay number to tighten the constraint, whereas use positive delay number to relax the constraint. So what does this mean? Generally, if you see any timing report, we will be getting some slack. So always slack should be either 0 or positive. Now, if you are setting one particular negative delay number, it will tighten the constraints. Means the genus will work more focusedly on that particular path to meet the timing. Whereas if you set the positive delay number, it is nothing but we are simply relaxing the constraints of the path, which can be used for area saving on non-critical paths. So simply if it is non-critical path, use positive delay number. If it is critical path, use negative delay number. Note this point, this constraint is for genus only and has no SDC equivalent. Coming to the last optimization technique, that is cell biasing. So simply cell biasing means either upsizing or downsizing. So as I told you, if you are doing upsizing, area will increase. If you are downsizing, area will decrease. So during synthesis, the cell area has a great impact on the selection of the cell. Cells with smaller area are more favorable if these have the same function compared to the larger. So generally, if you see any particular .lib for a particular cell, there will be an attribute called as an area. So by using that area, you will get to know that particular cell, how much area it is occupying. In Genus, the library cells can be made more favorable or less favorable during mapping by modifying this particular attribute called as area underscore multiplier. Increasing this multiplier makes the cell less favorable for use, and decreasing the multiplier makes it more favorable. For example, to encourage Genus to use more complex cells, that is AOI and or an invert, or else OAI or and an invert gates, set the area multiplier attribute for these cells to be less than 1. So this can be done by using this command setDB lib cell. So you have to pick the cell name followed by dot area multiplier. So these are some of the optimization techniques that will be performed by Cadence Genus during synthesis stage.